You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, you know how there are natural disasters? Usually those are outside your house, but sometimes it's coming from inside the house. So I hear there's a fire outside your front door.
It's actually started at the edge of an army base, and it's going the opposite way from us. It's just smoky out, but I'm keeping an eye on it. And of course, we just talked about wildfires, but it kicked off on like one of the worst days that I have had in the past year. And now that I said that, I'll probably have a worse one. But it's really hot and dry up here. So you're at 7,000 feet and it's 94 degrees and it feels like, at least to me, that it's 300 degrees. I mean, it's hot. So I can't sleep when it's this hot. So I took a Xanax to go to sleep. And I overslept. I slept till 8 o'clock in the morning. And I wake up to all kinds of noise. And there's the bulldog standing in my laundry room, growling at the big dog who she hates. So they're face to face, making a lot of noise, but nobody's doing anything. And I'm like, how did she even get in here? So I get her out, lock everything up, go into my living room, and there are two goats standing there destroying the yucca tree that Eve gave to Frankie when she was 12 years old for Father's Day.
Good morning.
If it wasn't so curvy, it would probably be 7 feet tall. I mean, we've had this thing. We've had it longer than we've had any of these animals. Someone, not me, forgot to lock the sliding door, and Kevin knows how to open that door. So Kevin just let himself in, and now...
Yeah, if you know what, if someone didn't feed me my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'd break in a door too.
They had a ton of Bermuda grass out there. That's their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But they want this tree because they can't get to it.
If I had to eat Bermuda grass for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I would also break down the door and destroy your living room.
And so now the tree is outside in the front yard because Eve says she can save it. So we'll see. But it looks like an amputee. That's all I can say.
Oh, dear.
Because it has like a thick trunk.
Are we going to get in politically incorrect territory here by saying that a tree looks like an amputee?
Okay, it looks like a bad haircut.
That seems better. It's the awful part is I don't know anymore. I don't know. We were requested. Okay, so here's the thing. You know, we failed with the tripod foster dog because she was.
You didn't fail.
Well,
she failed.
She's at a very expensive boarding care is where she is now, and she'll be there till somebody steps up, somebody even stupider than I am. And sorry, I didn't say that. Someone with a bigger heart than I have and a dog that doesn't mind her, or no dog would be ideal. Anyway, I thought, well, they're never going to let me foster again because they sort of shamed me for not being able to handle it. And I said, it's really not me. It's our dog who can't handle it. So they sent me a specific plea for the most pathetic looking case of a horribly mistreated dog that I've ever seen in my life. Just locked in a cage and left to die when the family got evicted. There were two of them, male and a female. We took the male. They just placed the female with another foster family. This dog should weigh about 60 pounds. He weighs 32 pounds.
People are awful.
Yeah, people are worse than awful.
See, that's why I love my goats.
But wait a minute.
My goats would never do that.
I want to get to the politically incorrect part. So because we have a female dog, we keep accidentally calling this dog, who's been given the name Marlin by the rescue group, like the father of Nemo. And then the female got Dory. So Marlin.
Yes.
Marlin, we keep calling she. And I finally, and so when the spousal unit tells me what he's done with which dog, I don't know which dog he's talking about because he keeps saying she, which is our dog as opposed to this dog. And finally I said, why don't we just do what everybody in the Bay Area does and switch to they? Just call Marlin
I was
they.
just going to say, what about them?
Oh, God.
They can both be thems.
So this is where it's come full circle. All of a sudden, they is more useful. I never thought I'd say that in my life.
I had to leave rescue because I couldn't believe the inhumanity of humans when
Yes.
it comes to these poor animals.
Yeah. And then
And I
what?
applaud you 1,000% for taking them in.
Thank you. Yes. And
And
they are
he's
really
so
sweet. They are a really sweet little
oh,
boy. He
they are so cute. When you sent me a picture the other day, I almost got in my car, drove to Chicago to come get him.
he's a complete doll.
But
He'll be a
we're
perfect dog
we're
for
going
somebody.
through. I'm finally taking our terror of a bulldog
Yes.
to a bulldog vet expert,
Uh-huh.
which is going to cost an arm and a leg and probably my head as well. And I'm gonna, after we go through everything and make sure she's healthy, just gonna say, "Do you know anyone that will take her?" Because I can't do it anymore. It's been 2 years, and now she's going after Frankie all of a
No,
sudden.
you can't have
So
that.
first, no, first, well, first she went after Minion, so the house is split in half. Now she hates Pancakes, which is Cat, who was her best friend. But now she's going after Frankie. Like, as soon as he comes in the door, she's jumping up on the back of the couch. And the thing is, you can't tell if she's playing or she wants to bite his face off.
I don't
And
think I
so,
would want that dog in my house, actually.
no, no, and I don't know what to do with her. She loves me. She loves me really hard. But we have a baby in the house now, for at least a couple hours a day. Um, And yeah, it's just chaos. The two dogs have been barking at each other over the gate all morning. And when it's 84 degrees in your house and 93 outside your house,
You
I
know,
don't want to hear
I
it.
was going to suggest that you spray the goats with that water soaker when they behave badly, but now I think we should just spray you with the water soaker to keep you from adopting any more animals or spending any more money
Believe
on
me,
animals that can't be mended. Yeah,
I'm convinced.
I think
And
it's
for
time.
anybody who may be getting all judgy, this dog has already been worked on by a trainer and a behaviorist. And they both shrugged their shoulders and said, "Thank you for taking her in."
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing you never want to hear. Well, thank you for saving her. And
no,
let me tell you, the worst thing is the volunteers group for any adoption, the closed group that you have to be invited into,
yeah,
because there be all the cheerleaders going, "Yay, Turi!" And you're like, "F you, you take her." Like,
yes, I hear you. All the judges. It's like you're sitting before a panel of a jury of your dog's peers.
before they let anybody post on those volunteer sites, I want to see a picture of how many dogs they're living with. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, and I think you should be a volunteer in order to post on any of those sites
I think on
because
that
they
one
are
you have to
super,
be.
super judgy.
I think to be fair, I think on the special site you have to volunteer, but I think some of them volunteer to do things like give a lot of money, which is not the same as living with, for example, the prior dog. It's just when you go to any organization that's filled with volunteers. Well, let me make this more specific. There was a point where I was thinking of moving to Seattle, and I had a tentative job offer there, and I went around to see what the community was like. It was a synagogue that I would be joining because it seemed like the best fit for me. And I walked in, and there's always that volunteer who you think is just there to make sure that nobody comes near the joint. It doesn't matter. It could be a
Yeah.
school, it could be a community center, it could be like a knitting group. There's always one volunteer where you're thinking, are you here to help the group or just to make sure that it stays exactly the same like an insect in amber? And are you here to actually help this organization run or are you here to make people go away? Because I said to this this aged woman, I may be moving here. I'm interested in your community. And she said, well, this is a community, and she named where the people had originally come from, which is the island of Rhodes. I said, yes, I'm aware. And she said, and we're a very Orthodox community. And it's not like I'd walk through there in a string bikini or something. I had a hat on, I had a long skirt. I was modestly dressed, as is expected. And I said, I understand. And she said, the service is an Orthodox service. And I said, are you trying to tell me not to join your congregation? And she's like, oh, no,
There's
no.
no room on the women's side.
Yeah, exactly. And she was not the only one of this that I've ever run into. There's always one volunteer where you go, what? Why are you
they know
volunteering?
everything.
Yeah.
I hear you. Well, I'm just hoping that, you know how they have those safe havens for babies
Yes.
at firehouse and
Yes.
hospital?
Yes.
I'm hoping this vet office is going to be a safe haven where I can just sneak her in and sneak back out. The note around her neck.
It happens all the time. We were taking this little guy out of the shelter, and I said, oh, my God, somebody donated a crate. And the woman said, no, more likely somebody dumped a dog.
I would not dump her.
Well,
and I wouldn't just give her to anybody either. But,
no. Yeah.
But I'm not going to leave her. Don't send us messages and letters and that kind of stuff. I will be responsible and find
Do you think
some
someone would
old
take her?
dude with no relatives.
Or nobody he likes anyway.
Company.
Yeah.
Well, she loves me.
Yeah. Do,
I mean,
do
she's
you
very
go
particular-
with the dog? Do you go with the dog? How about this? With every dog, a
Her,
free
about who
goat.
she loves.
Free goat with
That's
the dog.
No. I love Kevin. Kevin's my baby. I bottle fed him.
All right, well, I'm
Now
out of
I'm doing
ideas
it again
then.
with the grandkid.
I just think buy one, get one is the way of the future. So if you don't have two bulldogs that are really pains in the ass, I think it should be buy one dog, get one goat free. That's my solution to this problem.
For every house,
Yeah.
a smart goat and a dumb dog.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, and I read an article online too. I even did research because you know me. And the article said that bulldogs are one of the easiest breeds to train. And I fell off my couch laughing.
Did you feel like an utter failure at that point?
I feel like an utter failure. I feel bad for the dog that she's just a bonehead.
She's smart enough to know that she only wants you in the house. That's just smart enough to get you really at the emergency room or in a lawsuit. That's how smart she
And
is.
she doesn't realize that Frankie pays the bills. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is why you have treats and food and go
I'm
to the vet.
afraid there's no way that you can explain that to her. I don't think that's going to happen in this lifetime. Thanks for listening to the Turi Writers She Said What podcast. Since you've made it to the end, you might want to know that my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air, is not only available in print, but now also in complete audiobook form, narrated by me and available on Audible.